Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
That's better. I'd like to call Sumter County Council's regular meeting for Tuesday, October 10th to order. You may notice that Mrs. McGaney, who normally does our invocations, is not here tonight. I would ask that you please keep her and her daughter in your prayer. Her daughter is going through some health issues and going through about 3 hours worth of surgery. So I told her, of course, she needs to be with her daughter. So let us rise for the invocation. Landon, would you please give us an invocation? Let us remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us bow. Precious Savior, thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to serve Sumter County and other areas. God, please guide us through this meeting and keep us as we travel back to our homes. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Tonight we'll be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by retired U.S. Army veteran Kenneth R. Wendland, who served our country from 1979 to 2003. He served over 24 years and completed multiple war services in Southwest Asia. He also received several awards and medals, including 3 Bronze Star medals. He currently lives in County Council District 7. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Blanding, before we approve the agenda under new business,
Yes, sir.
I would like to move items number 1, 2, 3, and 4 up to
After the minutes.
behind number 5, behind the minutes, so that we can move this right along. So that's the recognitions and the proclamations.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. With those,
Move for the amended agenda.
okay. I have a motion and a second to approve the amended agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
We have a motion to approve our minutes from our regular meeting for Tuesday, September 26th.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve our minutes. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, prior to moving on to the rezoning request, we've got several recognitions of some of our employees who have made some distinctions. First, we have recognition of Major Patricia Ray, who is the 2023 South Carolina Jail Administrator of the Year, and Corporal Tamika Greg Wright, who's the 2023 South Carolina Officer of the Year. Major. This is a certificate of recognition. After having received that honor, thank you on behalf of the county and all of the 104,000 plus citizens of Sumter County. Yes, ma'am. another certificate of recognition for your committed service to the county. Thank you for your service to the county. We have on the agenda to approve a proclamation proclaiming October 22nd to 27th as Respiratory Therapy Awareness Week in Sumter County.
Move for approval. Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we approve a proclamation as Respiratory Therapy Awareness Week for Sumter County. Ms. Hilditch, I know that's who we'll be presenting that to, because we did it last year. Thank you for all your work. Just like this. You're a respiratory therapist. And thank you for what you do. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, next item on the agenda is a proclamation proclaiming October 22nd, the month of October as Cybersecurity Awareness Month. As you know, cybersecurity is a major issue in this community. With Sumter County. We've had a small incident over the last, I guess it was about 2 years now? Yes. Actually, it seems like it was more recent. But anyway, a couple years ago. So we know the value of making sure that we have the most secure technology system that we can possibly have in the county. A few months ago, the director, Mr. Les Van Devender, he's here, and I'm going to ask him to come up just a few minutes, presented some information regarding what our IT department does, information technology department does for Sumter County. And you heard a lot of valuable information. You heard how important these folks are, but you also heard how hard working these folks are on behalf of Sumter County. They touch just about every facet of county operation, as you can imagine. And at that time, I believe it was Councilwoman McGaney that actually said, you know, it'd be nice to see these folks and congratulate and thank them for what they do. So obviously when this month came up, and as I was talking with Les, this would be a great opportunity for him to come and introduce his team at the IT department. So with that, I would like to ask Les to please step up and greet the chairman and then maybe introduce staff.
Right, but before we do that, I need a motion.
We had a motion second. There was a motion second for the first one.
On the first one, yeah, this is a new one.
Make that a motion.
Second. I have a motion and a second to declare the entire month of October as Cybersecurity Awareness Month in Sumter, South Carolina. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Okay, Les, come on. Okay. The IT department.
Could you express our IT department, Mr. Chair, if you'll stay there and get a picture with our IT department?
Sure.
You want to introduce everybody?
Yeah, sorry, I just got it quick just so I make sure I don't miss anything. So first I have Alicia Richardson. She's our senior programmer. She's responsible for our AS400 and assists in the day-to-day operations of our IT department. She has 28 years of service. Come on, Lisa. Next, I have Deidre Boone, who was not able to attend tonight, but she is our service manager. She's responsible for our day-to-day help desk calls that come in. She also does all the quotes for the county, inventory for the county, and all of our software licenses. She has 13 years of service. Next, I have David Shadoan. He is our Chief Information Security Officer. He is responsible for developing, implementing, and enforcing security policies to protect the data of Sumter County as well as the citizens of the county. He has 12 years of service. Daryl Ski, he's our network engineer. He is responsible for the county's firewalls, switches, and network infrastructure, and also helps the help desk team. He has 10 years of service. Beth Shore, she's our PC LAN specialist. She is responsible for the day-to-day help desk tickets and calls that come in. She has 10 years of service. Vinny Russo, another PC land specialist, again responsible for the day-to-day tickets and calls that come in. He has 7 years of service. We also have Joe Perry, who is our communications coordinator, responsible for the public relations of the county. He has 6 years of service. And last but not least, we have Shelby Allen. She is our systems administrator. She's responsible for the county's 2 server data centers, and she has 1 year of service.
Thank you. And welcome.
Mr. Chair, while the IT's here, can I make a request that they get mine and just bring it longer working for the next meeting?
Absolutely.
That do me no good.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I think Bobby said what. Yes, sir. Come on. Go over here. Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is room rezoning request number 2321. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Helen Rubin for planning staff. RZ 2321 is a request at 495 Myrtle Beach Highway being brought forward by Brown Investments of Sumter LLC. Ms. Tammy Brown is here to speak on behalf of the request. They are the authorized agent for the property owner, Mr. Larry Barker. This request is to rezone a parcel of land that's approximately 8.48 acres from light industrial warehouse to heavy industrial. And this address is 495 Myrtle Beach Highway. Just for point of reference, this is the entire 8.48 acres. Currently, approximately 1.5 acres of the property is the site of an existing grandfathered non-conforming business in used auto parts sales with on-site vehicle dismantling, as well as an automotive sales business. The automotive sales business is not a non-conforming use, but the used auto parts sales is. This property is zoned light industrial warehouse in the LIW zoning district. The used auto parts sales with on-site vehicle dismantling is not a permitted use in the LIW district. At the time that it was established on the 1.5 acres, it was a permitted use, but the ordinance changed, which does prevent them from expanding the business onto the adjacent 7 acres. So the request is to rezone the entire 8.48 acres to heavy industrial, which is the only district that allows that use. This use is classified under NAICS code 42314. As I said, it is only permitted in the heavy industrial district. The applicant made a prior request to change the zoning designation for the 7-acre portion of the property where the existing 1.58 acre business wasn't included, to rezone it to heavy industrial back in 2020. At that time, council did not approve the request, but because it has been more than 1 year since that denial, they are allowed by ordinance to come back and request the rezoning. As I said, the property previously consisted of 2 separate parcels, but since then the properties have been combined. That was done in 2022 for tax purposes. So this is what it looked like the first time that council saw it. The rezoning action was for the 7 acres you see in red, with the 1.5 acres staying as LIW. Today the request is to just bring the whole property, all 8.48 acres, into the heavy industrial district. By way of background, sale of used auto parts on-site dismantling and storage is legal nonconforming, as I said, on the 1.5 acres that has not been subject to discontinuance. However, if the rezoning of the property is approved, it would make that legal nonconformity an actual conforming use, which would bring all of the business activities on the property into compliance with the current zoning ordinance and would allow expansion of the business. The 7-acre portion of the property has been subject of ongoing litigation and enforcement action, civil litigation, to correct the zoning violations that were on that property. We have a full description of the timeline of kind of legal actions that happened. It's included in the staff report. But rezoning this property to have a heavy industrial would allow them to become compliant with the zoning and development standards ordinance and allow them to proceed with expansion of the business compliant with all other necessary development standards. When we look at rezoning requests, we look at what the comprehensive land use plan says. This request to rezone to heavy industrial is inconsistent with the policies within the 2040 comprehensive plan because it is influenced by a priority commercial mixed use node. In those nodes, we look at directing future land use development for high quality commercial and residential mixed use development. Those areas include anticipated green fields and established locations expected to redevelop over time with higher and better uses. As you know, the land use plan is an aspirational plan. It is a long-term plan. At the moment, the existing pattern of development in this area is not dissimilar from what the applicant is requesting to do. So, like I said, the type and form of development envisioned by the 2040 plan policies is a long-term vision for the area centered on that intersection of Myrtle Beach Highway and the 378 bypass, but it will take significant investment in infrastructure in the future in order to achieve a priority mixed-use node envisioned by the plan. That being said, Planning Commission did recommend approval of this request, although the rezoning of the property to heavy industrial isn't consistent with the 2040 plan policies. The existing pattern of development in close proximity to the site is actually similar to the proposed use. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Yes, I have questions, please. Was the community notified about this?
The public hearing will take place at the next council meeting on the 24th. The legal ad was in Sunday's paper, and those flyers went out last Friday. So the notification is happening right now, and the property has been posted.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that because my family has property right across the street from this facility, and this is a disgrace. You go by there and look at the condition of the vehicles. It's a junkyard, really. That's what it is. And to expand it even more is going to devalue the property across the street from it, which people want to sell and own. And they have a house there that they're trying to sell, and people are not wanting to buy it because it says across the street from a junkyard. So I'm looking forward to being notified, at least my daughter, because she's part owner of the property across the street.
I will note that no notifications are going to where the tax bill is being sent.
Move approval first reading.
Second.
Been moved to properly seconded.
I got a question. Has anything changed with this from the last time it was voted on? Has anything changed?
Substantively,
Except for the little 1.4?
no, the only difference is that under the prior request, Planning Commission did not recommend approval. This go around they have. That may in part have been due to the fact that the previous time that it was requested, the applicant did not come to the Planning Commission meeting. As you'll note in the staff report, it wasn't a unanimous vote. It was a 4-3 split vote recommending approval of it. There was some significant conversation amongst the Planning Commission members as well as the applicant about the request, and in this particular instance, different from the previous request. The pleasure of the Planning Commission board was to recommend approval versus the last time. That is the most substantive difference between the two requests.
And how about DHEC? Does DHEC have to approve this type of business?
So,
DHEC has to have something to do with.
So for the type of business proposed to go onto the 7-acre expansion, there is a special type of industrial stormwater permit that must be obtained through the state. The applicant is aware of this. They have not obtained one to date because they have not established a business there, but they are aware of that process, and they had started going down that road prior, under the prior request, but they did not complete that process. But in order to come into legal compliance with development requirements on that site, should the property be successfully rezoned, they will have to go through the site plan approval process and get the appropriate stormwater permits through DHEC. It is different than the MS4 stormwater permits that we do locally.
They're not asking for a salvage yard, they're asking for an automotive.
So,
Because that was my issue last time. What is the difference? I mean, I don't understand the difference.
it is a distinction without a difference in reality. So used auto parts with on-site vehicle dismantling essentially takes, it could be new or late or old model cars, depending that they get it wholesale. They will remove the usable parts off of those for sale. Eventually they will be left with the parts of the vehicle that are not sellable, and then those parts would then be scrapped and sold for recycled metal. But this would be very similar to the business activity that happens on Barnett's out on St. Paul's Church
That
Road.
sounds like a salvage yard.
It is an automotive salvage yard.
Yes, room. The last time, as I remember, there is a portion of that acreage that has wetlands on it, correct?
The National Wetlands Inventory at the time prior to site clearing indicated that there may be wetlands on the property. It is my understanding that that issue has been dealt with through the Corps of Engineers and that there are no violations on that property in relation to wetlands.
Okay, if we were to approve second reading and subsequently third reading, do they then have to come back to the planning commission?
They will have to go through a site plan review process with the property to address buffering, landscaping, project
What about
expansion.
that permit that you just talked about?
They will have to get the DHEC stormwater permits, yes.
Seems to me that's kind of putting it's okay.
That would be part of the plans review process. The permitting, the stormwater permitting process with DHEC is not a free process, so it would make sense to not ask them to do that prior to a land use entitlement possibility.
Okay, any further discussion? We got a motion and a second to approve first reading. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed?
I want it to be noted, Mr. Chairman, that I'm going to abstain because my daughter is an heir to the property across the street, one of the heirs, so I'm not going to vote, I'm going to abstain.
Abstain or recuse? What's proper, Mr.?
At this point, it's abstain.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bates.
You're welcome.
Okay, next item on the agenda, Ms. Blanding, is the action on the 2024 county employee holiday. Scroll down.
Scroll down on it, we can see it all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't have a monitor, so
There you go.
Okay.
I forgot my laptop, so I apologize.
So this is the same as last year, except for maybe the date change, but same holiday.
Right. That's correct.
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval.
It's been moved and properly second that we approve the 2024 county employee holiday calendar. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. The 2024 holiday calendar is adopted. 2024 meeting calendar.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we approve our county council 2024 meeting calendar. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Committee reports. Fiscal Tax and Property Committee meeting was held today. All members were present except for Ms. McGaney. We received a report from our Economic Development Manager on the possible use of fee in lieu of taxes scenarios for solar energy. It was just a report, no action was taken. Land Use Committee, Mr. Eads.
Land Use Committee did meet, and we did discuss the solar development some more, and what the County Council's recommendations would be. And we had a presentation by Ms. Rudman, and our committee brings a motion and a second to full council to take Mrs. Rudman's recommendations to the Planning Commission.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
It's adopted. Good job, Ms. Rubin. Public Safety, Mr. Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Public Safety Committee meeting today covered 4 specific topics. The first being discussion and possible action concerning litter funding relative to litter hotspots in certain areas and what we can do to curb and eventually alleviate that process. The conversation has led to a future meeting with the fiscal tax committee, chaired by Councilman Byrd, I believe. Councilman McCain, sorry. And so we will be pursuing that matter further at our next council meeting. The second item we discussed was discussion and possible action regarding yard debris after a large storm, particularly for concentrated neighborhoods who may have large tree limbs and other debris that is not allowed except to the landfill on weekends. So I think you'll be seeing some changes in that regard to alleviate some of that pressure. The third issue was discussion and possible action on policy issues related to damage on motor vehicles. I think the county administrator will be coming back to us with some information on a policy related to that. The last issue was discussion and possible action concerning mental health patients by court order detained at our detention center, and that will be an ongoing conversation, and that conversation will also take place at the South Carolina General Assembly as well, because they are focused on this issue as it is a statewide and in fact issue across the United States. Mr. Chairman, that completes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Washington. Report from county members of other meetings, changes, conferences. I'd like to report that we had the Easting Festival downtown Saturday. From what I've read, it was estimated that 6,500 people attended that, so it was very well attended. And I would like to say that your county council participated in the parade. I drove one car, and Mr. Baton was my wingman. Mr. Washington drove a car, and Ms. Vivian was his wingman. And just as a matter of full disclosure, because of the signs that we had on top of the cars, your county council took down the balloon arch to the entrance of the grounds. But we popped a bunch of balloons, but they were able to get it out of the way and put it back up. It was very exciting. It caused a little bit of consternation, but everybody laughed about it. But it was very well received. Council, we also had several exhibits. I think we had 3. I know one was Public Works. Mr. Mixon, help me out.
Public Works, litter, and also stormwater.
Okay. So your county council and your county did participate in the Easting Festival. Any other reports? Hearing none, monthly reports, Ms. Brandy.
Okay. In your package, you have the Public Works monthly report for September. Clemson Extension Advisory Committee is still asking council members if they would like to participate. Come to that meeting, and that's at 12 noon on Thursday. The NAACP will be having its annual banquet on November the 3rd. If any council members are interested, let me know. The groundbreaking for Central Carolina is going to be on October 16th, if anyone's interested. Also on November 3rd, there will be the military appreciation, and if you're interested in participating in that, please, we need to know immediately. USC, the nursing grand opening and nursing celebration will be held on October the 24th, and Morris College Parade will give council members another opportunity to ride in the parade with the flag, and they probably won't get the balloons down this time. So I do know that Mr. McCain said he will participate. If anyone else plans to, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brandy. Mr. Mixon, County Administrator.
No report. I would just like to take this opportunity to thank council for recognizing our information technology staff tonight. I can't emphasize enough how important they are to this organization. We've got a great team, as you know. Thank y'all for y'all's continued support.
Thank you. Coming on to the public comment portion. Citizens desiring to speak during public comment are limited to up to 3 minutes. Comments to be made through the chairman. If there are any questions, they'll be answered after the meeting. Public comment portion of our meeting is now over. Anyone wishing to speak to council, please proceed to the podium. State your name for the record. Once. Public comment is closed.
For adjournment. Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we adjourn. Any discussion? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.